Hi, thanks for joining me today. Hope you are well and safe and having a great day. I'm having a great day. I've got a cup of Rosie Lee, so the world is good as far as I'm concerned. I've been painting in Krita this week, looking at the perspective tools. Last time I was looking at perspective tools in Rebel. Well, I thought I should give Krita a go. So this is what I produced. Enough said, let's get straight into the video. Last week I was looking at perspective in Rebel. This week I'm looking at perspective in Krita. So let's load in my reference image for this painting. So I'm going to click on this pin icon, choose tool options, click on the plus and navigate to my image, open that up, resize it, move it out the way of my canvas. That's the source photo I'm going to use. So at that point, I click back on brush and tool presets, and I've got a pencil selected. So we're all good. Very quick looking at this quickly, I'll say that this is this source photo, which is a photo of a street in Norwich, is in 1 point perspective, pretty much just looking straight down the street. So what do I mean by that? Well, if I put a little cross there, that would be where, imagine me sort of standing there like that, my hands in my pockets, looking down the street, and that's the vanishing point just there where my eyes are, and I can draw converging lines to that point. Like that. Very easy. Set out the drawing of these buildings. So that's what I mean by 1 point, because we've just got this 1 point here. So how do we set this up in Krita? Well, we go to this little rectangle tool here, and if I just hover over it, it says assistant tool. I click on that assistant tool. Back down here, we choose tool options again, and basically when you open this up, you'll probably see this drop down list set to concentric ellipse. You want to pop that open and change it to vanishing point, not perspective. If you do perspective, you get a grid like that, a sort of perspective grid that you can move around and set up a grid like that. So we don't want that. That's absolutely not what we want. Just click on that little circle there, and that will get rid of those. What I do want is vanishing point. So, and I said my vanishing point was going to be about there, like that. So I can move that in place by either moving that, which to me it messes these up. So I don't know what they do really. I don't want to get into that. So I can move it around using these little 4 arrow squares like that, because I've only had a quick play around with this, and then that sets up my perspective grid about where I would be looking at the scene. So that's my vanishing point just there, and I'm good with that. I think just tweak that a bit, didn't I? Get it level if I can. There we go, that's near enough, I think. Oh, what am I doing? Just step back a bit. That's it. There we go. I just did some undos, and I've set the colour of this to green because it defaults at grey. It's much more sort of that kind of colour. And when it was like that, I couldn't see it on this background I've got. So I'm just going to set it to a green so you can see it, and I'm going to draw with a red colour, so we'll be able to see clearly guidelines and my drawing lines. So that's why I've done that. So that's the perspective. So what happens if we draw then? Let's click to draw. So I've chosen my brush, and then at this point I would probably choose brush presets to choose a brush, but I need to keep it on tool options just to show you one or two other things. When you first set this up, this snap to assistant is disabled. It looks like that. So when you start to draw, you can draw freehand following those guidelines, but you can also draw anything else. So basically, when it's like that, it's just a visual representation, which, to be honest, for me, I much prefer. But if you want to be absolutely precise, go snap to assistant, and then it will just follow those lines. And you can also draw in between the lines as well, like that. But what happens if you want to do an horizontal line? You can see it's following the grid, the perspective grid, and if I try and do a vertical line, same thing. So the grid isn't, we need to do a little bit more to the grid yet before it's set up for perspective. So this is a little bit fiddly. I'm just going to press delete to get rid of those lines. So what do? I click back on the assistant tool up here, click on that, and then pop down the drop down list and choose parallel ruler. So to get this in, I click a point, hold the shift key down and drag my mouse down, and that gives me a vertical guideline. And then I do the same again. I click, hold the shift key and drag, draw an horizontal guideline. So I've now got a vertical guideline, horizontal, and the perspective lines. So we should be good to go. We should be good to go. I can click back to my paintbrush, which is a pencil. Got my pencil selected there. I'll go to tool options, and I've got snap to assistant switched on, and I'm going to zoom back in again. So it's control space to zoom, and then just the space bar to reposition your image. Control space to zoom. There we go. So if I draw now, I have to say I really find this fiddly, and sometimes it doesn't do what you expect it to do. But I can draw a parallel line, like not a parallel line, a perspective line, just the same as before. I can draw an horizontal line. See, we've got the guidelines in horizontal. I should be able to draw a vertical line, but I'm finding it difficult. There we go. Oops. Sometimes it doesn't go exactly where you want it, and you have to sort of fiddle with it a bit. There we go. So we've now got horizontal, vertical, and perspective lines that converge, and we're good to go. So now I can start drawing. So you can choose at this point, do you have this snap to assistant on, or do you have it off? So I'll leave it on for a little while, and the first line I want to put in is going to be, for some random reason, this vertical line, that building there. I'm going to take it down to about there, I think. And I'm just wondering if that's not far enough over. And I might just move my perspective line. I'm going to go back to here, just move that across a bit like that. And my brush, switch this off and just erase that out. Switch it back on again. I just felt I was not giving myself enough room to get all the other buildings in. Start again. There, like that. And that, to me, I was just looking at that line and it felt like it was leaning to the right, but it's not. It's, you know, the perspective's right. So then I'm going to come along, next one in. I'm just looking at verticals at the minute, just trying to space them out a little bit. We got this one here, kind of like that. That'll do. So that's the vertical lines positioned in. And notice that I'm not done a perspective line like that. And the reason for that is these and this is why I very rarely use a perspective grid. If we look at the source photo, all of the buildings, they're not built in a straight line. They're all over the place. So it kind of, what did I just do? Did it read? Cleared all my lines. I just wanted to clear that last one. So I'm going to have to erase them, otherwise it's going to, shouldn't delete everything, should it? Control Z, that's it. Yeah, so I can't just draw a line like that because the buildings aren't built parallel and straight to each other. So you've got to eyeball it a bit. So that's why I'm not so sure that this particular photo you want to be having this snap to assistant on all the time. I'll keep it on for a little bit because I know I need to put this line in here. It's about right, I think. Pop that in, and then I can pop a horizontal line in like that. In fact, let's just get that one in. Can't put this line in because that's sort of, it's got to be free-handed in. I can get this one in here. So I'm doing what I can. So sort of like that. And I can get my windows in, obviously. So I can draw a line all the way down there like that. And these are just guidelines, don't forget. So, oops. Like that. Like that. Oops. Maybe that one wants to be a bit higher there. That's too low, isn't it? It should really be about there. Yeah, I think so. I could switch that off and use the eraser. The reason I'm switching it off is if I had that switched on and I try and erase something out, it's stuck, it's snapped to that guideline. So that's why you need to just switch it off if you're erasing anything. I've got my windows in, nice and easy. I'll switch it back on again. So somebody asked me, would I do a comparison with this and in Krita compared to Rebel? They're two very different systems. I don't think there's any way you can really compare them. This one seems to be a little bit fiddly and a bit quirky when it comes to drawing your vertical and horizontal lines and things. Pop that one in there. One in there. But I am going to have to do a lot of freehand work on this. Got this roof line. I can just kind of put that in, I guess. Oh, there we go, like that. Got that one in, like that. I guess I could put that in. I've got that way to just take that out. So you're going to have to, with this one, you really do need to do some freehand work. So, but you know, I am getting quite a lot in without thinking about the freehand to start with. So, and then we've got this street. I can put that in there. That's that cobble. You see now at this point it bends off and it comes that way and goes up there. So it becomes, you've got to make a decision which bit is following the actual guidelines and which is a bend in the pavement or the road or whatever. So there, I think that's all I can do. I could get the windows in, I suppose. I could put a couple of windows in. Oops. And I meant then to just do a vertical line like that. That. You can see here, you know, the windows, they're coming lower there. They're not even following the same perspective lines, and this one here goes higher. So I could draw this window in, I suppose, although it is on a bit of an angle. Oops. Oops. It doesn't want to do it. There we go. And I could pop that in, I guess. There. That kind of goes like that. But underneath it, we've got this bit of a thing going off there, and then the vertical. Yeah, that's about. I'm thinking that's about as far as I can go with the Snap Assistant on. So I am now going to switch that off, and then that means I can freehand in all the rest of the stuff, because this building juts out here like that. Look, I've got to kind of follow it to a certain degree. And then we've got that jutting out, and that. It's just because the building's at a different angle to the perspective. I could switch it on again if I want to get that nice vertical line in there. Quite frustrating. There we go. Switch it off again. And then I can draw in this lamp. It's no good even trying to pretend to use a perspective tool on this. There we go. And these gutters, they kind of go like that. In fact, no, they don't. I've got this vertical line going up there first, like that. And I'm paying particular attention to where everything is positioned. And I can see that that's not vertical, it does just slant off a little bit to that, so you couldn't use the vertical line for it. It wouldn't work. You got to eyeball it. So I think this is where people might make a mistake. If they, if they thought, right, I can use the perspective tool and that's going to solve all my problems, I can just use that and it's going to give me the perfect building. But something like this street, it's just not, it's never ever going to work because the buildings are so wonky, and you're going to be thinking, why do my buildings not look right? Even though we've got this gutter sort of coming down and it goes kind of quite steep there and then shallows off a little bit. I think I need to just come out a bit more there. I'll just pop that grid on again, just for me verticals here. There we go. So I think it's important that you are aware when you should have your grid switched on and when you should just switch it off. But you've still got, I'm still using the guidelines. They're still helping. They are a visual reference for me to make sure I've got everything nice in perspective. And this these lines is pretty much where my think about this. That's the red building to there, let's say. That a bit. That's the red building. And we've got the green building. Is this one, so that's got this kind of curve on it. These two, tidied up a bit. Now this is the blue building. Red again. So you can see these sort of follow this perspective line, but the meander while they're doing it. That. Got that just a little bit too placed there, and that should be a bit higher up as well. Snap the guide on. Just there we go. That's it. So get that out. That's it. Right, so I will carry on, I think, finish the perspective drawing, and then what I'm going to do, I am going to paint this in oils. I'll do an oil painting for you for a change, but I don't want to spend. I don't think that you're going to get a lot of value out of watching me now finish this, because it's all freehand, but I'm still using the guidelines as a rough reference. So I'll be back shortly. Right, the sketch is all finished now, all done nice and red. I could turn that perspective grid off if I want. So I'm going to click on the assistant tool, and if I just click on the little eye, that will just hide them, and click back to the brush tool, they will disappear, and we can work now on that painting just as if they weren't there, but I can go back to them if I want because I've still got them. So let's get some oil paints out. Go to my brush presets, and I'm using Digital Atelier oils brushes. These aren't free, you can get them off the Krita website though. I don't think they're too expensive just to buy the brushes. But they're well worth having. They really are absolutely excellent brushes. And the other thing that I've got going off here on the right hand side, you may have noticed I've got like loads of layers. If you haven't seen this before, this is allows me to get this lovely texture, this canvas underneath my painting, and that's a free download. I'll put a link in the description to where to get these, and a video showing you how to set them all up. But basically, if you work in the green areas, we're good to go. So I'm going to put a bit of an undercolour in first, so I'm going to click on that and just think about getting some colour on there. And I'm going to use, I think, this brush, which is used for blocking in, and then I can sort of choose a colour and just sort of, oh, might be a little bit bright that, but a bit more towards the blue. That's it, and I'm just going to block in. I've got this layer is underneath my sketch layer. Really, I ought to lock that sketch layer so I can't work on it anymore. So the sketch layer is still going to show through. This brush is really cool for just sort of blocking in stuff. It actually goes lighter, doesn't it, at the top? I wonder if I should be doing that, sort of blending that in and getting it a bit lighter. Yeah, liking that. I'm just blocking in colour before I start getting any detail in. So this brush is absolutely brilliant for that. I should say about the drawings, notice how I didn't I didn't care about the windows. I should say about the windows. I didn't care about drawing nice, perfectly vertical lines and horizontal lines. That was absolutely deliberate. Why I did that. There we go. Warm this up a bit. Control key to choose a colour off the canvas. So let's make that white. I think maybe not. Get some green in. I'll tell you, if you take your time doing the drawing, the painting bit becomes an absolute doddle. Usually I am drawing with the paint. I don't normally sketch at all for much. So this is making it so easy. Really, really, really easy. I should be a bit more purple. There we go. Tiles, let's choose that colour. Up again for here. That's nice. Maybe shadow work under there. Darker. I am going to lose these lines, obviously, at some point. Let's get the cobbles in. Put a few highlights in there. So I think that'll do for the blocking in, maybe. Yeah. Looking good. A bit too much there. That's it. Right, I need a new layer for painting on, so I'm going to click on the paint sketch here and add a new layer. Let's see what brushes have we got. What's this one? Flat oil. That's quite nice. Just going to zoom in a bit. Add a bit of a little bit of colour here and there. Notice how we've got canvas showing through and all good stuff like that. Let's paint this window detail in. Maybe that's not the best brush. It's this one. This looks, it might be a bit better. Square bracket keys to change the size of the brush. Kind of want to be a dark green, I think. Just put some sort of reflections in there. Like that. Lighten it up. Sort of grey colour. It's like kind of grey for the windows. I don't want the windows white. Be a glaring mistake. And kind of like that. Oops, that's in the wrong place, isn't it? Just an indication of glazing bars. Don't need them all in. And then pick that colour, get a darker colour for a bit of a shadow underneath the window there, maybe just down the edge. Like that. Just adds all that, just adds a little bit of depth. Fiddling with the size all the time. So we've got a nice window in there, and we can do the top one the same. So I'm going to pick this colour up. Might brush a bit bigger. Square bracket key. Paint those styles in for the windows there. I don't want dark on the glass, so I'm going to use the same colour that I had before. In the window below. This one's much more blocked out, but I think I'm going to just vary it a little bit with this grey and just change it up a bit. Otherwise I'm just going to get a rectangle, which I don't want. I do not want that at all. What's really important to me is that I don't get nice, straight, rigid lines, and that's not, you know, because I can't do that or anything, or I'm lazy. I just do not want tidy, neat, perfect lines. I want them to be just bashed in like that lot. And I don't want them all showing just little bits. And I think that makes it so much more painterly. See what I'm saying? Tips on painting windows as well as perspective. It's all good stuff. Coming in with a little bit of blue. Darken that up a bit. Reds. I'm consciously trying to get rid of these red guidelines that we had in there. I think it's important that we lose those now. I'm looking at how the sun is catching the roof. It had been raining that day, and I love the rain because it just gives you so much more atmosphere with the rain bouncing off at the tops of roofs and things. I just love it. See some nice just hints of colour as well. That's it. I'm just, what I do, I'm looking at the image and then I kind of, you know, the source photo, and I'm just letting my hand wander over the canvas and lay down colour roughly where I think, oh yeah, I can see a little bit of that there, and just brush it in. See really nice highlights down there, maybe even brighter still. What's that look like on the zoom out? That to me has got a nice look to it. Yeah, feeling that. I could use this, we've got a blending brush somewhere. This one. Nope. I know one of these blends. Break what? Might be this one. Gilbert, number 9. Nope. Nope. I know I've got a blender because I've used, I tried it earlier. It was working beautifully. Well, this is thick oils. That's really nice. Just pop on a brush full there. Zoom in. I suppose I ought to choose the right colour. What's going off? Oh, that's interesting. It's not doing what I expected it to do. See that lovely thick colour? But if you pick a colour off the canvas, I guess the texture changes the colour. So anyway, I'm digressing. This is the one I want, colour fade, and I can just sort of blend that out a bit. Oh, I ought to pick a colour. There we go. Got something to fade into. That's it. Just softens that off a little bit. Oh. Just sort of blend that in. Gives that a bit more of a painterly look. And I can bring that down there, and I can bring the sky across. Oh, I like in this brush. This is the 12 colour fade. Just softens off edges beautifully. Look at that. That looks so much more painterly. I'll just touch around the windows a little bit with it, just to soften them off, give them a bit of a lighter edge. Maybe this roof as well. Yeah. Like it. Oops. I like it a lot. You know what? I might just pop a bit of that in there just to stop that being so boringly flat. Yeah, there we go. Right, I think it's time to speed up again, and I will be back shortly. So let's just bat it on a bit, otherwise we're going to get a massively long video. I'm getting close to finishing the buildings now, so I just want to put in a little bit of colour up here. Get rid of this red. Put that window in. So, get a bit darker. Oops. Go away. I'm looking at the photo and I'm thinking that these people in it are sort of, especially with the flared dresses, are like almost characters from a Lowry painting. So, like, you know, the sort of stick figures. So I'm tempted to kind of do them like that. The buildings look a little bit flat at this point, but I am gonna at some point do a multiply layer and add some shadows and things just to give them a little bit more depth. But at the minute they're okay, I guess. Just put these few buildings in there. Just going to keep it really flat, really. That'll do for that. Right, let's think about. I'll just say let's think about the people, and then I'm thinking I just need a little bit of light there. This actually comes all the way up here. That's it. Put a window in. Do that like that. That's a bit better. Yeah. That looks better. Right, people then. Better what to just zoom in a little bit. I've got I've got a monitor with where I can look at to still see what I'm painting, or see the source, I should say. So stick figures then, kind of, maybe, I don't know. Might be fun to do. Kind of a skinny tone, an odd word. I blurred out the faces so that I don't get into trouble with YouTube. Sort of putting people in the picture I haven't asked permission to do. I'm just going to kind of lose that person's back in the shadows. He's got a backpack on. My cat. Sort of like that. I don't know if that's the end of the painting. There we go, that's it. I guess I'm going to have to put the dog in as well. I just pick the colour up off the canvas and then use the picker to change it. So I'd like hold the control key, pick that pink up, and then oops, just make a slightly darker colour there for the shadows. Do it again. Just helps a bit. The highlight just there and there. So I could put an highlight on his shoulder as well. But the coat's pretty light, so that's not going to be too obvious. This character. I don't know what they're queuing for. They look like they're queuing. I guess it could be only so many people allowed in the shop because of COVID. Now that's weird. I've got her arm underneath the bag. In actual fact, it should be there. That's how bad I am at observing sometimes. Quite eccentric looking, these two ladies. They're wearing a flared skirt and then flowered coloured docks. Quite a statement. This bag. Something like that. And even more so, darker under there. Flare that out. We could use this brush here. This one's called the Rake Wet, and that's really nice for doing a bit of blending. We got that a bit too dark. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick that colour, just paint it over it a bit, like that. Okay. Change my brush again because that was just a little bit too soft. Wanted a darker edge, slightly darker edge. Yeah. actually goes more around like that. It's just the strap of the bag over his shoulder. Pinker skin. Oops. That's kind of it. Again, it's got some sort of weird hat, very strange looking hat, almost like a sailor hat. Oops. I'm trying to get like detailing with just one tiny stroke. Instead of fiddling like I'm doing now. Get it in with one brush stroke. That's it. A bit better. Pick that skin colour up, get it on the leg, and I gotta paint. I don't normally put shoes in, but these massive docks, a bit like Mickey Mouse or something of that nature. And I don't want to pick this brown colour up. Use this blending brush again and try and get some shadow under there. Around the feet maybe, just to sort of highlight them docks a bit more. Looking at this pavement, it sort of comes up here like this. Just shrink that, make sure I've got it all on. The top of it's quite dark as well. That and a little bit of horizontal stuff going off. Change the colour up a bit. Yeah, like that. I think I could put a bit of blue in there as well. These cobbles, and I can see red, a flicker red, and light colours, just tin, yellows. That red's a bit too much in it. Just knock that down a bit. That's about right. Get a big brush. Let's make a statement. Definitely want some sort of oak colour. Just brushed in a bit. I'm sort of skitting from one thing to another. I've like been doing the figures, and now I've gone back to a bit of cobble, and then I'll come back to the figures again, no doubt, shortly. But at the minute, just feeling a bit of doing a bit of cobble. I think it all started with this sort of shadow under this dress that I wanted to get in. Which is still, it's going to kind of go there as well. Like that. Change my brush. I've gone for the number 5 flat. That's too dark. I just want to lighten that up a bit. The other leg that wants to be that colour. Do I put the shoe in? I might not this time. I might just sort of go with more stick. Don't know. I'm interested in this blue coat. This raincoat. Actually, it's another flared skirt. So it's got this raincoat on, and then beneath that, she's got this lovely blue, really rich blue coloured skirt, like this. And the raincoat's just sitting on top of it. That. Wearing a bit of a beret. I should zoom in a bit, shouldn't I, so I can see what I'm doing. Looking at the pavement thing going off. I'm hoping I'll be able to turn the red line off soon. Right, back to this lady. when I paint clothes, I just look at the shadows and I paint them in, and maybe a few of the highlights. So I'm not really painting shapes, I'm just looking at shadows and getting them in. Thinking about there's a line there, with a shadow going off there like that. She's got a bag under her coat, this lady. And then we're going to get a bit of a shadow going off there. And this bag pokes out there, like that. And all of this, it's almost in silhouette. Apart from the bag, brown bag. To get a sharp, I can do it like that. I'm painting the outside. Okay, let's have a little go at these. Now I've zoomed in a bit, I can see a bit more what I was doing wrong. That leg, look, it's totally going the wrong way, man. Just paint it out. That one's like that. Okay, that's all right. And then this one goes like that. That's better. Dear me. Fact. Put that there like that. And change this leg. Should be quite a gap between them. What am I doing wrong? I think to start off it's too, still needs to be a bit more angled than that. Got it too long as well. So that's that leg. And then this one goes more like that. That's it. Zoom out. That look better. To the egg. I'll zoom out, I can properly see what I'm doing wrong. I'm just trying to get, you know, a stroke that like indicates a shoe. I don't want to paint the shoe in. I don't want to take the time. Although, to be honest, I'm spending so much time on it, I could probably have painted the shoe in with glorious detail. Time I've been faffing. That's better. Well, that was a bit of a struggle. Just looking at anywhere I can put an highlight, it's going in. Put a shadow on there like that. Big brush. Shadows. This woman in front is way too small. I'm going to just choose. Is it this tool? I can trace around the figure. Yeah, and then I can enlarge it. Where's that gone? There we are. Make her a little bit bigger, but she's nearly the same height as the other lady. Hit the enter key. That's it. Select, deselect. Tidy this up a bit. Oh, let's go back to choosing my brush. There we are. I love just really loose figures. Just sort of indicate the detail in them. Do I put the dog in? Nah. Yeah. I'm thinking I should put the dog in. Damn. Trying to make sure I've got that pavement looking just right there. Sit a bit. Let's put a matched dog in. Not it too big. Looks like a pug. It's below the pavement, so this guy's. I think I just need to just tweak this bloke a bit. We've got a pavement going up there like that. Like that. He's kind of just off the pavement. And I can get my dog in. Boom, boom. Curly tail. And a lead go like that. That's it. Just a little indication. I think it might be wants to be a bit chunkier. Otherwise it's going to look too long. Better. Quite stocky dogs are pugs. And I got that too far forward. Let's try again. To get rid of that little bit there. and boom. That's it, that'll do. That's my little dog. This guy's got some shadow on his legs as well. On the arm. Believe it or not, there's two more people here. This little girl. This is in actual fact needs to go. That's all over a window. Don't know what she's holding. Yeah, about there. Sort of got her hand in a pocket. Almost abstract, isn't it? Really, I'm not. Don't want it to look real. Blue coat. Let's get that in. I'm trying to stick close to the colours. I won't say they're exactly the right. There's little blocky shapes, aren't they? That, you know, give a little indication of what's going off. That's the people done. Right, I think what I need to do now, well, first of all, let's just switch the red off. That's the original sketch gone. I quite like, just like the way that makes it pop a little bit though. So I'm going to leave them in, and I'm going to create a new layer. What's going on? So I've changed the blend mode to multiply. It's the only layer that's got a multiply blend mode on it. All the rest are just normal. So this is above everything else. Okay, so change my brush size a bit. I could probably use this rake wet, and I'm just going to pick nice warm colours to start with, and I'll probably change the colour as I'm going, and this can go over the window and everything, and this is what's going to make the whole thing pop. As I add these colours, blend them in a bit, look, put them up above the window there like that. Just adds a little bit of dynamics. Go on the window and across that guy because he's now in shade. Down that door. There. Definitely a bit smaller. I'm just going to do that just to sort of sharpen up this bit here. I've just remembered as well, I haven't painted the lighting and some of the shadows around there, so I've got that to do. This is really in the light, isn't it? I should try and keep it that way if I can. Bit there, put that shade a bit. See, now the dog's too. I think that actually the window, I could bring the window down a bit. That's it. And if I use lighter colours, you know, the blend doesn't look quite as dark or heavy. Let's go for a blue. Lifting out a little bit. I will do this light, I promise. Across the window like that. Across there. Get that window in the shadow a bit. Underneath here. Let's go to orange. I want to put it with an orange. Almost little dashes will do for them cobbles. There we go. Quite a dark bit there. I think we're looking good. Looking good. Just a bit more. I'm going to create another layer. This time, I might just leave it normal actually. Yeah, I could have made it highlight. That might have just made it pop too much. Let's try it and see what happens. Change the normal mode to say lighten, or no, let's do screen. That's a good one. What happens if I go for brighter colour? Yeah, that's okay. That's working. Pick that blue up. Go back to my multiply layer again. Just and back to the lighter layer. Could even add some highlights on here, actually. Wouldn't go amiss. Oh, we've got another light there. I missed that one. I'm kind of fiddling a bit now. I'm thinking I'm very close to finishing. Yeah, I'm just tempted to just pop a few rim lights around there. Look, I think we're good. I think I just need to sign it. Keep doing that. Just looking in the odd place. Where can I put another highlight? Yeah, perhaps there. That's it. Get it signed. So, I'm painting in 1 point perspective, little scene in Norwich, done in Krita, using the perspective tools. Little bit fiddly, I felt, but still quite useful, and they did help considerably with setting out the perspective of this. It's just for me, normally the issue is that I haven't got the patience to set the thing up, and I just want to start painting, so I might not use it ever again, but unless it's something really complicated, but then again I still might not use it. But I think the thing I did learn was, you know, the perspective tool, it is just a guide, because as you see with this building here, nothing is built in a straight line in this scene, so therefore you have to use it as a guide and not be totally following it slavishly. You have to be a little bit more subtle with your use of it. So anyway, there we go. I think that's it. Thanks for joining me today, and if you're still with me now, you will be, obviously, if you're listening to this. Thanks so much for staying with me and being so brave, watching all of this. Means a lot. And hopefully, if you've enjoyed the video, you will give me the old thumbs up, like and subscribe if you're new to the channel as well, because I've got lots of videos like this and I would love to be sharing them all with you. So don't forget, everybody, stay safe, stay sane, keep painting. Hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.